Stand by to receive our transmission.
Where are you boys from in the world?
Alabama, sir.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Welcome to the Bama Geeks podcast. We are four friends diving into our favorite pop culture topics with a dash of Southern charm.
We have the tools, we have talent. It's Miller time.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
Wait, what? Crazy? You didn't say I was crazy.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
You want something done, you've got to do it yourself.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!
So grab your biscuits and gravy, a glass of sweet tea, and enjoy the nerdy hospitality of Brock and Jessica Parker, Bo Bearden, and Kevin Gardner.
This is the way.
This is the way.
And howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome into the next episode 5 of the, I almost said Alabama Ghostbusters podcast. It's been a few years since we've done that. Welcome to the Bama Geeks podcast. How are you guys doing? I'm Brock Parker. While I just smacked my microphone too. I'm leaving every bit of that in. We're starting off on a very big bang. Oh, you guys introduce yourselves, please.
What's up, y'all? It's Jess.
What's up? It's Kevin.
Greetings and salutations. It is I, Bo.
And again, I'm Brock Parker. We've had a weekend. It's been very tiring. My teenage daughter decided last night, after knowing we had to get up at 7 this morning, kept me up till after 1 o'clock. And I'm old. So yeah, I'm running on fumes for this episode, but hey, we're glad to be here. We're so happy that you are here joining us, and we're just going to shoot the breeze on some stuff. The mama of the group got to celebrate Mother's Day, and immediately after got to celebrate her birthday. Tell us all about it.
Oh, thank you. I had a great Mother's Day into my birthday weekend. I had to work on my birthday, so we tried to make the most of the weekend before that because I was going to be a late night on a Monday, as it always is at my job. So we got some nice, lovely gifts from my husband for my Mother's Day and my birthday. The calendar just happened to fall that way this year, and it's kind of like the people that have a birthday so close to Christmas. Double dose of gifts for me, and as always, Brock just knocks it right out of the park with his choice of gifts. I'm always pleasantly surprised to see what I'm going to unwrap every time he gives me a present. That is his love language, and he is phenomenal at it.
Yeah. I get it from my mom. My mom was the same way.
So the Mother's Day present, he was really worried about. Worried or more?
It was more.
You felt it was going to be weird.
Yeah, mothers normally get flowers or something frilly, something pretty. That's not the direction I went this year. I
unwrapped the Razor Crest Lego set for Mother's Day this year, along with a Grogu Hot Wheels. What do you want to call that?
He really rolls?
No.
he really floats.
Oh, he really floats.
He stands on a little stand and makes it look like he's floating.
Oh, that's very cool.
Oh, yeah. It was perfect
He's
for
in
my
his
desk.
pram.
In the pram. Yes. And fits great on my desk. But I'm not saying surprised in a bad way, but I was surprised about the Lego set. Was not expecting that. Brock likes, as he says, he gets me gifts that I probably wouldn't go buy for myself, which is to me is great. So I can go ahead and tell you that the Lego Razor Crest has been completed. I have completed the build on that.
May I say, though, if anyone who had seen season 2, but at least really it could have been easy for you. You should have just left it in pieces. And
exactly.
It would have been season finale of episode 2 accurate. I mean,
all you pull out of it is the little ball and spear.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, spoilers.
But I really did enjoy building it, and it's got me eyeballing other Lego sets like the flower set, and now they have a bonsai tree set, which looks pretty awesome.
Wow,
yeah,
that is cool.
So I've kind of come to the realization that I like jigsaw puzzles and I like to put those together. But once they're together, what do? You can glue it and save it, or you can just take it apart and try to do it again. But I've never had a problem building Lego sets before. I've built a ton of them for my son in the past. So
Jessica mentioned using the almighty crackle.
The crackle.
She's using the almighty crackle on the pieces.
Well, you can get the bonsai tree, and when we go to Fanboy Expo, have William Zabka sign it.
Oh man!
Or if they can get Ralph Macchio.
Oh, if I could get Ralph Macchio to sign a Lego bonsai tree,
that'd be great.
That would
just make sure that you don't say bonsai. You say bonsai to him.
Yeah,
that's the way he says it. Bonsai.
Oh, that's a good thought. If he ever gets around to a convention and I get one, might have to make that happen. Carrying around a Lego set bonsai tree. And then for my birthday, so needless to say, very surprised, would have never, ever imagined unwrapping this either. So we get up early Monday morning, and he hands me 2 boxes, which are pretty big in size. So I was like, okay, well, cool. And the first one that I unwrapped was the Macho Man Slim Jim holder that I saw while we were about a year?
Last summer.
Yeah, almost about a year ago. We were down in Florida visiting some friends, and we stopped in at a gas station, and I saw this Macho Man Slim Jim holder sitting on the counter, and it was just never seen one before. It was the neatest thing, and after I left, I told Brock, I said, I wonder if that guy would have sold that to us. I wonder if we could have bought that, and it was on my mind the rest of the day after seeing that. I went on eBay and looked at them, and some people were really proud of it. So I was like, oh, yeah, okay, well, it's nice. I'll just keep looking, and maybe one day we'll come across one. Well, I just happened to open up one on my birthday.
Yep, it was new, unused, and I found it on Mercari, and because the eBay prices are stupid on those things.
Yeah.
But I found one on Mercari, and the girl was offering a screaming deal and had the make an offer option turned on. So I made an offer to get it even lower, and she's like, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because one of the first things I said to Brock is, "Please don't tell me you paid what they were asking for this thing on eBay. Please don't tell me you did that."
There's a reason it took almost a year for you to get it. Patience, grasshopper.
And so the second gift, open up, and I see this red velvet thing, and it's like looks like it has legs, and my can't even begin to figure out what in the heck is in this box. What's in the box? So I open it, pull it out, and I'm just this red velvet with this Shawn Michaels logo on it, and it's still not registering in my brain what this is. I'm looking at the covering.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, this is nice. It's just a big long piece of velvet with the Shawn Michaels Heartbreak Kid logo on it."
Yeah, and so I flip. Oh, there's a zipper on the back. Oh, okay. Well, let's just unzip this. And there is a WWE Championship belt that is personalized for Shawn Michaels.
The old Winged Eagle.
Yeah, the early 90s
Yes.
Winged Eagle, late 80s, early 90s Winged Eagle, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The girlhood dream had come true.
I should have got down on my knees and held it. Man, now
you're going to have to recreate that at least some way.
Well, I did try to recreate the pose picture. We took a couple of pictures, but I just didn't.
we'll definitely retake them. But yeah, the belt, the belt is just something I didn't know existed, and I saw it, and I'm just like, oh.
Me neither. Didn't know that these were out there.
They have a couple of theme belts like that. They have like an Undertake one. They have a purple Razor Ramon Intercontinental title, and I think they have Intercontinental title, Macho Man title. So they have a couple of them. They're really neat.
Okay.
I just happened to be looking through WWE's website, which I never go to. For some reason, I clicked on it, and I was like, let's just see what they're selling. And I sold couple of the old Stone Cold Steve Austin belts and everything. And then there was the Shawn Michaels belt. And I'm like, ooh, really? So started putting some pennies aside for that, and was able to snag it for her just in time for her birthday.
That's my good-natured hubby.
Well, you catch so much flack from our friend Ryan from the from Toy Anxiety and Yes Have Some podcast. Ryan has zeroed in on Jess and the fact that she snuck a kiss years ago from Shawn Michaels. So that gets brought up an awful lot. An awful lot. And so
Ryan,
I decided just to play into it and like, okay, you know what? Here's the belt.
And I absolutely love it. I never, like I said, never knew these were out there, and now I own one, and it is proudly displayed in one of our little cases here in the living room. He made me a spot in the display case for it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we're playing into Ryan Dole's fanfic yet again.
Well, playing into your Shawn Michaels love too.
Which, speaking of which, the A&E biography tonight is about Shawn Michaels. So,
ooh,
yes,
yeah, we'll finish this, and I'll sit here and just clean up the drool off the couch later.
Well, I mean, he is a sexy boy.
Yeah,
he's not your boy toy. There you go.
He's not your boy toy.
Boy toy.
But overall, it was a lovely Mother's Day. It was a lovely birthday. Not as much of a exciting as medieval times or whatnot, but still very low key and very nice. So,
and speaking of medieval times, we talked on the last episode about our buddy Joe, who is the one of the announcers there, as he's riding around on horseback. Congratulations to him and his brand new fiance.
Woo!
They got engaged over this weekend at medieval times.
Yep.
Joe got down on one knee in his knightly garb.
Yep. They had all the fanfare to go along with it, too.
Had the other knights around him and all the other people from medieval times. And Kevin, he got engaged in the red knight section.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So did they? So is this between the section where they're talking about the princess or the queen or whatever's talking about her stuff, or the part where they're talking about the oranges?
No, it actually wasn't during the show.
Oh, it wasn't? Okay.
It looked like it was before the show, either before or after the show. It was one of the two. But yeah, he's in his garb, and they got a couple of horses out there and the knights and everything. He posted a video of it yesterday, I think. Yesterday, today. My days are running together.
Yesterday. It was yesterday.
Well, congratulations, man.
Yeah, man. I was like, oh, look, it's Kevin's section. He got engaged in Kevin's section. But yeah, they seem extremely happy. We haven't met his fiance. I hope we can do that soon.
We did. We talked to her briefly at the Days of the Dead. We got to talk to him in passing. Not really, not long, but we did talk to him.
Oh man,
you're expecting me to remember a year and a half ago almost. But super
That's
happy.
What you got Bo for, man.
Yeah,
Bo will
exactly.
remember for you.
If it's something like nonchalant, not unimportant, and my wife didn't tell me to remember it, I'll remember it. Wife tells me to remember it. Gone.
I need your young man brain to remember these things. Younger than mine.
I mean, I guess, Bo, technically you're the youngest person here.
He is.
Yeah, you are.
Technically, I guess so. I am the baby of the group.
You are the youngin'.
He's wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles shirt, and he really needs the one that says, I'm in my 40s. In that logo.
I need that one. I remember they had the one for the 30s. I guess they need to make one for 40s because all
they did.
Kids are now in our
they did.
They did.
I saw it like a week or two ago somewhere online. Yeah, so it's out there.
So. Know the demographic.
Exactly. Two of our biggest turtle fans, Kevin and Bo, they're getting older. They're in their 40s now. Make a new shirt.
Got to keep it relevant.
I need the midlife mutant Ninja Turtles now.
It reminds me of that Saturday Night Live sketch, Middle-Aged Man.
Oh, that was so wonderful. That was so wonderful.
But they did one about, was it Saturday Night Live that did that one about the turtles getting older? Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I thought there was one out there.
Yeah. Like Michelangelo and April were married, but they had a very dysfunctional marriage. Raphael was an old gambler. Like, it was a great cartoon. Like, it was very good.
Yeah.
How long ago was this? I have not watched SNL.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Whoa. 4 or 5 years ago. Brock, so you didn't watch the SNL episode with Elon Musk as the host?
I have not seen it yet.
I've seen clips, but the clip of him as Wario in the trial was pretty darn funny.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
They did a really good job playing to his lack of comedy. And because he's really not a really good comedian, so they did a really good job tailoring everything to him. And he actually did mention on the show that he admitted for the first time ever that he actually has Asperger's syndrome, which explains a lot about just how he speaks. So that was interesting. But anyway, didn't mean to derail.
Yeah.
But
No.
I will go back and watch it. I have not watched a full episode of Saturday Night Live since January 11th, 2003.
Wow, you got specific on that date. What happened on that date? There had to be something really specific.
Here comes the tale.
Well, it's not a pleasant one.
Okay.
That was the night that Jeff Gordon, former NASCAR driver. At that time, I was a big Jeff Gordon fan. He hosted that episode. Avril Lavigne was the musical guest.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, that was a perfect lineup for you.
It was great.
Dream team.
Okay, my secret music obsession, and we're gonna touch on music, and I'll even touch on this story a little bit. Well, at least this artist, but yeah, Avril. Avril is my secret. Shh! Don't tell anybody you listen to her. I love Avril. I adore her, and I'm not ashamed. I just don't speak about it often. But anyway, yeah, they were on there. That the reason I remember that is because the next morning my ex-wife's father died.
Oh,
that's how I remember.
Oh,
that specific date. We went to bed after watching that episode and got up the next morning to that horrible news.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
the last time I really watched Saturday Night Live regularly, I can't remember. I don't have a date, but it was when it was probably Bill Hader and Jason Sudeikis' last season, because those two guys, I really enjoyed those guys, and just since especially Bill Hader. Bill Hader, I don't know why, he is one of my favorite guys. I mean, anybody who can do a perfect Alan Alda impersonation in the early 2000 teens, and people still laugh at it. That tells you comedy talent there.
Yeah, it's probably been longer from. I mean, I see the bits and the highlights that get shared on social media, or the clips, or if somebody's talking about a really funny skit, I might check it out. But I've not sat down to watch a whole episode, and probably longer than even you, Bo, in that particular time frame. So
yeah,
I was really happy with the whole release of Peacock and the older SNL episodes that you could go back and watch. And I did watch quite a few of those, but especially when you hit the Sandler and Farley era of Saturday Night Live, the David Spade, all that. That's
peak.
Yeah. I mean, even going back and watching the original, the ones from the 70s, you've got some of those, the humor and the things that's definitely sometimes weird at times and very relevant to that time frame of life. But yeah.
Come on, Bassomatic 76.
I love Bassomatic.
Yeah, hey, let's take a look back on 1977. All right. Which I know nobody can see me, but this great Chevy Chase turns and looks back, and they have 1977 on the screen. Yeah. That's just
oh man, Dan Aykroyd did Fred Garvin, male prostitute.
Oh man.
Here, can you undo my truss?
Every time I see the Christopher Reeve Superman and Margot Kidder, that's the first thing. Fred Garvin is one of the first things that pops in my mind.
Yeah. Oh, James Brown, Hot Tub Party.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy.
Get in the hot tub. Hey!
But I was happy to go back and find the Sigourney Weaver episode where during church chat, she came out as Zool. That's a very great piece of history right
Her
there.
and Dana Carvey have some great parts in that. That one in the chopping broccoli.
Yes.
That is one of my favorite sketches of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry. SNL. We turned everybody to SNL talk here.
Hey, we don't have a big lineup for this one, so we're shooting off the cuff for a lot of this. This is good. Well, Jess did talk about the toys, and that they are toys that she received for her birthday and Mother's Day. Kevin got a really neat new toy that I have been enjoying seeing his pictures in progress. What you got, man?
I'm gonna butcher the name, but it's a Creality.
You got
CR10S version 2 Pro. It has all kinds of words. But
Director's Cut Alpha 3.
It's like you have to make sure you get version 2, not version 1 or not version 3. It's like, okay. All right. But I've been kind of watching this one for a little while, and I like delving into fixing things, but something about 3D printing has always scared the ever living crap out of me. So I decided I wanted to get a printer that was both large, that you could potentially print full helmets with, like for cosplay and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And also one that is mostly assembled. So even someone like me who is scared to death of it, I can put it together, have it, because I had this thing put together in about 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And then I had it set up. Have it set up in my garage currently. Have a computer out there with it so I can instantly do STL files. I can encode them, drop them into the system. And so far I've done thankfully now I've done more successful prints than unsuccessful prints. So I've pretty much got her dialed in now, and I've been producing Greeblies for my Gonk droid. So what I'm doing now is I have, as you know, we've mentioned in previous episodes, I have an electric car. And one of the things that electric cars have are like level 2 chargers. Now you can plug it into the 110 outlet, but you're going to take like a million years for the thing to charge. So with this charger thing, you can ask these guys, one of the things I've been dreaming of doing for years, probably as long as I've had an electric car, is I wanted to create a facade over my EV charger that's a Gonk droid, a Star Wars Gonk droid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they're power droids. That's literally what they do. They're walking batteries. So I'm like, I'm going to put a facade over my EV charger that has the sounds. You can go up and you can push the button. It'll make the Gonk sounds.
I was hoping for that.
That's
oh yeah. I've already got I've already got everything I need to do for that. So what's been holding me up is that I didn't want to get much further with it until I was able to produce some of the Greeblies that I need. For those that don't know what that means, it's basically all the little knickknacks that they put on Star Wars stuff that makes it Star Wars, like the rocker switches, the little buttons, the things that you can tell don't do anything and they're really weathered, but it just makes it Star Wars.
Yeah,
it makes it look really
gives it
70s.
that pop. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got I posted a picture up not too long ago in social media of just a bowl full of Greeblies that I've made of different things that I'm going to put on there. So should be able to make some progress on the project now. And of course, next up is being able to possibly print out some actual armor. I'm really looking forward to doing that because I've informed my sister that I have a 3D printer now. So one of the things that we're going to be working on is possibly Zori Bliss, who is she was I don't know if you remember, Kerry Russell played her in Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Possibly going to be doing that armor.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Very good possibility that I might be doing that armor with this, and this is perfectly capable. So yeah, before we started this episode, Mark was like, "Hey, let's talk about 3D printing." I was like, all right, cool. I'll put my 27 hours of experience in 3D printing out there for everybody.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
Hey, like I told you, I've got a Elegoo Saturn resin printer that has been sitting on my desk since last summer when I got it. I just don't have a place to put it, but I was one of the first 1,000 to get it for like a $200 price tag. I got in on the early bird deal. And I wasn't going to turn that down when I found out I got in. And I'm like, well, I'm getting it, but I've never turned it on.
So you said yours does helmets, correct, Kevin?
Yes.
So when are we getting our shredder helmets? That's the big question.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'll go look for an STL file and see if we can do it.
Did you see the look on his face when you said that? That was a happy man.
It's like it was like something he didn't think about until this then. Like,
I literally have it, and now it's a mission.
The epiphany.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually have it out there right now, producing a bar of Beskar.
Okay.
So it's actually out there printing right now, doing Beskar.
Didn't you have a Gonk droid when, like, close to the time I first met you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one that just set up and it had feet and everything like that. But this one's actually going to be mounted to the wall. So it's just going to be a facade that covers the 3D printer and for everybody out there that's worried to death, that with proper venting, I've already built that in. So it's going to have proper venting. So, there won't be any problems there.
Is the covering going to be 3D printed, or do you have something made that's going to
the covering is going to be just a traditional Gonk droid shape, which is basically a Sterilite bin. It's cut in half, and then you put the top and the bottom and you put them together, and that's a Gonk droid.
Which is very fortunate when you have an electric car, because you could have been using it to store some gas or something.
Did you guys love that viral video or that viral picture that went around of the guy with the white Model Y that had the rack on the back of it?
I saw
and
that.
It was gas cans?
Yes.
I showed that to Brock last night. I think it was last night. I showed that.
What was the meme?
You've become the thing you were meant to destroy. That guy was like, I'm going to have enough gas to cut my yard, and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay.
I don't need it for my car.
Oh, the hoarders and the scalpers during the pandemic. I mean, that's just the next level right there, having a Tesla owner do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to direct. That was just a bad joke. I thought it'd be fun. So, derailed it into other territories. That's what I'm good at.
Oh my gosh. Well, man, that's awesome. I'm so happy you got the printer. I can't wait to see all the things that you're going to come up with. We're called Bama Geeks. We have various interests, so pardon this deep dive, but what are you using for your slicer and everything for your 3D printing?
Cura.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cura works really well. Since it was Creality, it came with the Creality slicer, which I quickly found out wasn't actually passing all of my extruder and temp nozzle and bed heater values over to the printer. So I switched over to Cura and it fixed it. So it's just basically their software, their own software doesn't work with their own printers. It was like super cool.
Okay. I almost brought a Prusa Mark III, golly, about 3-4 years ago, right when it first hit. And of course, the Prusa company, they are based out of, I want to say it's Czechoslovakia. Or the Czech Republic.
It's either that or Russia proper, one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, they're from that part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So when I ordered it, I went to go order it, and of course the payment was coming out through their country, and my credit union went, whoa, what are you doing? Why is this foreign country way over there trying to access your funds? And they froze my bank account. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need to spend that $1,000. That's fine. And so I didn't get it at that time. So
I think it's the Prusa Mark II or the Mark III, I forget, but it's kind of compared with what I have with the CR10S, because it's whichever Prusa printer has the larger printer bed, like the one I have. They actually usually when there's like debates or blog articles, you'll see the comparison between what I have and that. And they obviously the one that I have has advantages, whereas the Prusa has advantages. And it's just the Creality printing, the community is humongous. Like you can always find an answer to just about everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons I chose it too.
Okay. Well, I'm eyeballing the Elegoo Neptune 2 just for the price point. That thing's $160, something like that. I want to dip my feet into FDM printing, and so I figured that would be the cheaper way to go, just to get in there and learn it, and then if I ever decide to upgrade later, I can. But like I said, I've still got a Elegoo Saturn collecting dust until I get my workshop set up here at the house.
Nice.
Well, cool, man.
Well, stay tuned. I will definitely have some more progress on the Gonk Droid, and I'll keep you guys updated as it progresses. Just like everyone else here in Bama Geeks, I have a full-time job and we have responsibilities. So I don't get a chance to work on it as often as I'd like to. Yeah. But when I do, I usually get a lot done. So I'll be able to give you guys updates.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, also in our spare time from our full-time jobs, I know Bo is going to be the godfather of this conversation because he got me into this. We are a few years ago. He's like, "Hey, have you ever played this Mass Effect series?" And I'm like, "Nah, I've seen it. I've never gotten into it." Thanks, Bo.
You're welcome.
2012, 2013 is when you got me into it, and I played through the trilogy for the first time, which led to 2014, the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, all the way up until Dragon Con, building my own suit of Mass Effect N7 armor. Commissioning Bill Duran from Punished Props Academy. Give them a look if you never have. Bill's a fantastic prop maker. I commissioned him to make the M98 Widow sniper rifle, which
is a beautiful gun in the game.
It's gorgeous. It's awesome. It's the one I wanted, and Bill built it for me, and it's here at the house and heavy. It's beautiful. So Bo led me
definitely
down,
beautiful.
Yeah, Bo led me down the path to Mass Effect, and this past Friday, BioWare thankfully re-released the trilogy in what they're calling the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. They've remastered it in 4K. I had my kids all weekend, so I've not been able to play it. But this week, whenever I get off work and get home, you better believe I'm going to be doing it every night. and probably every night for the next, months, however many months, because you got to put a lot of hours into this trilogy. But Bo, you've been able to touch on it this weekend, haven't you?
Yeah, I dived in it. Well, like we're talking about Mass Effect. To me, like, each form of entertainment has its kind of quintessential, well, now with streaming's kind of changed that, but quintessential form. Like, to me, Star Wars is the epitome of space drama opera of movies. Mm-hmm. Star Trek is the epitome of television. And to me, Mass Effect has been that of video games, at least of the modern era, or at least within 10, 15 years. But to me, it is the quintessential. And plus, the cool thing about it, you've got various voice actors, people who's been in other forms of sci-fi movies. But yes, I dived into the first game. I'm probably only played about 5 or 6 hours of it, but I'm in the early stages. For anybody who else has played, I am now finishing up my first visit to the Citadel and about to go out and do track down Saren, which, like I said, he's kind of the antagonist of the game. But the cool thing about Mass Effect is, like, it's really cool. Like, for anybody that played it, cool thing about it is you can design the main character is John or Jane Shepard. That's awesome. Gives you the option there. If you're a lady gamer, you can be a lady shepherd, or you can be a male shepherd. If you want to, you can be who you want to. I personally, and you have the option of being either a Paragon, which is a super good guy, or a Renegade, a really bad guy who's good. I guess that makes sense. Which to me, cool is Renegade Femshep is probably my favorite playthrough, because I've done. She is the ultimate bad lady you do not want to mess with. It just flows so good with her character, in my opinion. Her voice actor, Jennifer Hale. So good. So good.
Came to the very first Magic City Con in Birmingham. Yep. Just a small tangent. Yeah. I had, of course, naturally the M98 Widow by then. And I've got a wonderful picture of me with her, and she's holding that rifle above her head. Like,
yeah. Like, so the cool thing about the first Mass Effect game came out, it was like one of the launch titles with, I don't know if it was actually a launch title, but it was out within the first year of the 360's lifespan. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of in an awkward transition from the previous generation to what was the current generation of gaming, which it didn't really age well. It just played like an older game from the previous generation. But still, and a lot of people skipped over because they're like, because 2 would give you the option. It did like an interactive comic where you could get caught up. A lot of people kind of skipped over it. But now it is made the first game required playing. It still plays a little bit like the old game, but they did a lot of mechanics and tuning to make it a lot more fluid. But like, it's really good. Like, I gotta send you another screenshot. Like, when I see Rex for the first time, and like, oh my gosh, like the detail in him, like the eyes are red. He looks like the ultimate really mean space frog that he is.
And Rex is where Jess and I got our cosplay page on social media, Parks and Rex. Yeah. We stole that from Mass Effect.
But yeah, I'm very early into it. Like I said, I did a lot of exploring of the Citadel, did a lot of the side. That's the cool thing about it. I can do a lot of the side missions that really quick that I know to do. But also, though, a couple of times I got in combat where I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm playing this, where I've already played the series 4 or 5 times on the original systems, where my character's all super leveled up, and like, every big power surge at me is just like, me just brush that off. And then now I'm trying to do it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a level 3 instead of a level 60. But yeah, I did a couple hours. Like I said, yesterday was most of it I got to play. Just like I said, busy weekend myself. I'll probably be hammering on it Wednesday for sure. Because I have nothing planned. I cut my grass, got everything good, so no responsibilities come Wednesday. But Mass Effect.
All adulting is done, so I can devote this time. Yes,
it's good,
guys. He will eventually finish Falcon and Winter Soldier.
yeah.
Which is funny is
steal his time.
Which is funny is because I was watching episode 2 with my wife before we started recording. So there I am there. So we're still there.
Only 4 more to go. You're doing good. Kevin has given us so many ideas for great shows to watch, and we're going to get to them, and we're going to cover them all in this podcast. Just keep hanging in there with us. Mm-hmm. Subscribe on iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher and YouTube. Bear with us. We're going to get to these. We've got plenty of content down the road for you.
Yeah, this podcast isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So
we may absolutely be covering, Loki in about 3 years. But we'll get there. We're going to get there.
This is the podcast where like you can identify with real life. Hey,
do you guys remember that show Loki that came on 3 years ago? Let's talk about that one now.
We finally get to cover it.
Eventually, we will be Bama geezers.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Get off our lawn.
I remember before we had streaming services when we had to watch everything on television.
We had to go to the video store and hope the video was there and somebody had not come and rented it before we got to it.
Our phones were rotary dial and we liked it.
We found out what was on next week with a TV guide.
We had to sit through the TV guide channel.
Yes.
And wait for everything to come up. And then you had to watch through all the advertisements of, pills and life insurance and whatnot.
Yeah. And didn't you hate it
the next one.
When your favorite, the channel you wanted to see, you had already missed it, so you got to wait for it to come back around again. You got to practice that patience.
You kids with your TiVo and DirecTV.
Well, I remember I was completely shocked when they started doing the VCRs where you had the code and, you'd enter the code. And I was like, oh, holy crap, this is it can't get any better than this.
There's a reason we have gray hair.
Yeah. Like I said, it's so interesting. There are times I wish I was younger than there are times I'm like, I'm glad I'm my age and I experienced what I experienced. So,
yes.
It's kind of double-sided.
We were the last generation without internet.
That's the crazy thing. With internet, that's the one thing that's kind of neat. We're kind of the first generation. Usually, this, I would just compare this. When you were in school, people did the reunions. That was the only way you saw people you went to school with.
Yeah.
Well, now we have social media, and you see the people you went to school with, and you're like, holy crap! It's kind of interesting. You don't see them you go to your 10-year reunion, then you go to your 20-year reunion. And you're like, holy crap, you got old. But now I can see it happen in real time, I guess. So.
Hey, we had classmates.com. Thank you.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah. That was our first connection to those we went to school with.
Yep.
Are you on classmates.com?
Can you find your class?
Yeah. I still get emails from classmates.
I do too.
You do?
I do.
That thing's still around?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
It's usually in my spam folder, but I still get emails from them.
I do too. Spam folder, junk, trash, gone.
Oh my gosh. For you kids who don't know what AOL and dial-up modems are.
And we did find an AOL startup disc at my dad's yard sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah, Jess's son was like, what's this?
This, son, is how we used to get connected to the internet.
1,500 free hours.
AOL.
Oh my gosh.
Dial-up modem.
Which is so weird. They were the epitome of internet. Now they're just, a relic. It's so interesting.
Oh, dude, when I was in the Air Force back in 1994, I was stationed at Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi. And we had, I don't know how this guy was able to get a phone into his dorm room. For the other branches of the military, they called them barracks. We had dorms because we were Air Force and snooty. But somehow he wound up getting a dial-up phone into his room, but his modem is not. This was 94. He didn't plug his modem in, the phone line into his modem. He took the handset and had one of those analog. I don't know what they're called, but it's an analog modem. But he had to sit the handset of the phone on top of this thing, and so the modem listened through the handset for the dial tone, and that's how it dialed out.
Wow,
man, I'm old.
This could be another future episode.
That would be fun. Yeah, old technology. Yeah,
talking about the old versus the new. That'd be.
See, we told you we're going to come out with content that will make you cry because you missed it all. The technologies and stuff.
Or you're going to cry because you miss it all.
Yeah, you either miss it, or you're going to cry just because it's us explaining it, and that's bad enough.
No, that's not how it happened.
Dear Bama Geeks, click. How dare you? No.
Well, it's kind of funny because we were with having the kids this last weekend, and I know we're going to talk about some movie stuff in a little bit, but you were talking about, technology, then versus now. We did introduce them to Short Circuit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So it's, I don't know how I'm thinking, of course, one of the scenes, where she brings Johnny Five into the house and she shows him the encyclopedias and he reads through them. Now it would be I don't think he would set a robot down in front of a computer to say, this is Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't the robot be built with that technology? He wouldn't have to go searching. I mean, I know he malfunctioned, but still, it's like, I guess.
He did not malfunction. He became alive.
That's right. Not malfunction.
Yeah, get it right. Jeez.
Life is not a malfunction. Life is not a malfunction.
He gives me one of my favorite insults I like to drop on people. Hey, laser lips, your mama was a snowblower. That is one of my favorite ones in that movie.
Oh, my kids rolled at that one last night.
It's so good.
We showed them. Well, let's just jump into the movie topics.
Sure.
Yeah.
We showed them. We got home Friday night, and because it was the 25th anniversary this past week of Twister. Mm-hmm. So they had never seen Twister. And so my daughter fell asleep 30 minutes before it ended. Did not care for it. My son enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. But Short Circuit, yeah.
Oh,
they were crying at that movie.
Oh, it's so great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah. And it's
Colt 45 automatic. Play-Doh.
And it's one of the other simple things that makes me laugh when it goes by the big Dr. Pepper sign. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too?
My son literally broke out in tears crying at that because that was so
that's
unexpected.
Great.
Because my kids they don't live with me full time, so I'm kind of fun dad. Always have been, but now it's, they come here, they get to have the Dr. Pepper. Their mom doesn't really treat them to such fine delicacies from time to time. So yeah, they come over here and kids both love Dr. Pepper. So when he saw that, I have not seen my son laugh that hard in a long time. But that Dr. Pepper cracked him up so bad.
I need to break it out because I really do. I need to get Oliver to watch it. I'm sure he would love that.
Oh, he would crack up.
He would. Yeah.
That's so funny. Everything in there. But they loved Ben.
Yes.
Listening to all his not being able to English correctly.
Yes. Nun soup. It makes the line about when they're praying he's going to get out there and blow up a bus of nuns. What would be the headline on that?
How would you like to be the one to write that headline? Nun soup.
Nun soup. Yeah, and that's and then touching on Ben, and we know that recently Fisher Stevens has been in the news lately about
last week.
Yeah, his regret and playing that character and doing
which I didn't. I
didn't either.
Honestly,
I thought he was actually.
I thought it was Indian until I saw that article this past week with Fisher, and I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of those things that just never registered with me.
And it's such an endearing character. I mean, I don't see people creating a whole lot of backlash over it, and I mean, it is what it is for the time that the movie was made. And he even said in the article that he took a lot of pride in at the time, to invest into that character and become that character and make sure that, he did it justice for the part that he was playing.
Right. But
he didn't hate it enough to not do a Short Circuit 2 and be the main character.
He touched on that. He said initially when he signed on to the movie, it was supposed to be this white engineering student, whatever, named John Barnum or something like that.
Yeah.
And they changed it at the last minute. They asked him, can you do an Indian guy? And he's like, yeah, I'll do my best. So he studied it. He studied the dialect. And before the sequel, he studied the dialect even more and even went to live in India for a month to get used to, how they lived and how they spoke and how they acted.
Well, he approached it with respect. That's, I understand, like I said, it is a different time, but I mean, he was an actor. He is playing, the character, which, I mean, that's like you said, he did homework. It wasn't just like, he watched, it wasn't a caricature. It was a portrayal,
Right.
So, I mean,
and rightfully so. If that movie were made today, he said he would, would rather an actual person from India take that part, which is the right thing to do naturally.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to, you want parts to be the way they're supposed to be.
Right.
You don't ever want to offend another culture or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, but yeah, back in the 80s, I mean, that, and well before the 80s, all through the history of cinema, you've had parts like that.
Yeah.
Some offensive, some that they tried to be respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he didn't play it with malicious, and I don't want to say malicious intent, but I mean, it wasn't played to be disrespectful.
Right.
Yes, I guess that's more.
But I forever, until last week, forever thought a gentleman from India played that part.
Yeah. And they did. The kids just absolutely loved that. And I was glad that we finally exposed them to that classic. It was well received.
That's one fun thing that my kids are like my daughter's, teenager. My son is very close to being a teenager. And so now they start to understand a lot of these movies. And I've been waiting for years to show them some of these movies so that they could be age appropriate. The movies that I fell in love with and as at their age, a lot of these I shouldn't have been watching at their age, but you have PG movies in the 80s that had nudity in it.
Yeah. It's,
and I'm not showing them those, but things like Short Circuit and, Back to the Future and things like that, even with the language in it, thankfully we're able to find some of the edited versions on TV through AMC or stuff like that,
Yeah.
But they're now getting into the movies that we all grew up with and love. And, like I said, my son enjoyed Twister. My daughter,
Man.
They appreciated the cow. They loved the cow.
Like I said, it's probably been well over 20 years since I probably watched Twister. I need to revisit it.
Yes, you should. And you should, with it being the 25th anniversary of the movie, it's a good time to go back and revisit.
And we've got a really good friend, Judd Hudson. He and his mom, Jasmine, are actually at this moment, or I don't know if they're on the way back or not, but they've been in Wakita this past weekend at,
Twister Fest or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Twister Fest.
Twister Fest.
But they've been out there. They've got a replica of the red Dodge truck and Dorothy. What they use, Dorothy 3?
I think I didn't catch the number on his Dorothy, but it's a Dorothy in the back.
Yeah. But Jasmine has dressed up as Meg.
Yep.
Correct? Yeah.
Yes.
And she won a lookalike contest out there for that.
Yep.
That's funny.
They're having a great time. Yeah. And they look great and very happy that they got to do that. So, because of the 25th anniversary, I mean.
Yeah. And Judd was it today? He had talked about that they've been out, look at the different filming locations, being out there in Wakita. And they, people have, of course, been seeing him drive around town with the truck. And he says a lot of people are interacting with them, the people that live out there and had the experience living there when the movie was filmed. And the first tornado scene, when after, Bill comes back and they're taking off, the people who lived in that area where that scene was filmed still have the red tractor that was sitting on that rickety wooden bridge in that scene where him and Joe get underneath the bridge there and are holding on, and the boards are coming to the bridge is coming apart and everything. Judd posted that they still have that tractor and they have pieces of that bridge, and they gave Judd a piece of the bridge out there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the bridge is no longer standing and no longer in that area, but yeah, the owners gave him a piece of movie history, which is really great.
Yeah.
But Judd and his mom, they did a fantastic job on their costumes and on the truck and the Dorothy. Judd and his family talented, very, very talented.
Extremely talented.
Yeah. We're excited always, to have known them as long as we have. They're great people. Been part of our Alabama Ghostbusters group for ages. And so,
it's good to see them, like Rock said, out there enjoying that, being able to take part.
Yeah. I mean, his mom is toting around a steak and eggs like in the skillet, which is just wonderful.
That's great.
Did you see my cows out front?
No.
Oh.
And there was also a video Judd posted of his mom at the site where Aunt Meg's house was, too, walking around out there.
So hitting on Twister, let's talk about some of our favorite movie audience experiences. We were going to save this till later in the podcast, but because we're talking about Twister, I just got to share my Twister story. When that movie first came out, I saw it for the first time at a drive-in theater. I was stationed in Texas, and the drive-in theater, of course, Texas, flat, just like you see in Twister, just flat as far as you can see. Distant lightning, thunder, wind, no rain, thankfully, but we sat outside of our cars in lawn chairs and got to watch Twister on the drive-in screen in a very tornadic feel for weather.
Oh, wow.
Mother Nature helped out a little bit.
Dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like we were coming back from flying back in 2016 from from Los Angeles. We had been invited to go to Sony, a few of us, and when they premiered the trailer for Ghostbusters Answer the Call. And so I was flying back with Abigail Gardner and Craig Goldberg from YHS Podcast, and we hit really bad turbulence. I look over, Craig's white-knuckled the seats. Craig didn't like the turbulence. Well, I'm loving it because at the exact time that turbulence hit, I'm watching Jurassic World for the first time when the dinosaurs are stampeding. And they let loose and start stampeding, and the whole plane's just shaking. It's like a great 4D experience. And that reminded me of that time when I was in Texas watching Twister. It's just the environment was perfect. I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm loving it. Craig's white knuckling, eyes closed. He ain't having it. And I'm just like, yeah, dinosaurs, go.
Yes. Take that, D-Box.
But another Texas experience that I had, and is one of the absolute favorite, is, like I said, I was in the Air Force, but I was stationed at Fort Hood, the big Army post out there. There were 50,000 Army guys. There was only 300 of us Air Force guys. It's about an hour north of Austin. Well, I decided when Independence Day came out back in 97. It's 97 that came out? I believe so, right?
96.
96? 97?
96, I believe.
Okay. Anyway, either way, both those years I was in Texas. Texas, the cities have a rivalry, I've learned. All the cities in Texas. And we're sitting in Austin, and of course, Independence Day, they're going to nuke. They're here in Houston. What are we going to do? We've got to kill the ship. We've got to kill the aliens that are here over Houston. What have we got to do? Well, we got to detonate a nuclear bomb. So we're all sitting in the theater. Theater's packed. It's opening weekend. And they explode the atomic bomb on Houston. The whole theater erupted in cheers and applause. It was the loudest reaction of, yeah, they bombed Houston. So apparently Austin hates Houston and vice versa. So yeah, the cities all have a rivalry, but that was a great experience.
I guess it's only okay to mess with Texas when it's Texas messing with Texas.
You got it.
Exactly.
You got it. Texans can mess with themselves.
It's like the brother and sister dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I was laughing so hard because I did not expect that. But Houston got a nuclear bomb, and everybody in that theater in Austin went ballistic. That was hilarious.
That's awesome.
It just reminded me of like the crowd reaction like in Avengers Endgame when Cap winds up getting Thor's hammer.
Some people feel iffy about crowds reacting in a movie theater, clapping or cheering or whatever. And some people have different feelings on it. I love the experience of sitting there with people, and enjoying those things together.
You go opening night for that kind of experience. If you want to go opening night and you don't want to have that experience, you need to wait a little bit.
Yeah. It's just people that they just want to sit together and enjoy a movie together with other people, with other like-minded people, with fans. And if it, elicits that reaction, it's great. It's joy. And I love a movie experience so much. And I'm glad to see that theaters are opening back up. I don't want to see that theater experience go away, and especially with Afterlife coming up this year.
But I'm going to ask you to temper the language, but you had a great experience with Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, yeah, I was going to bring that up. Let me do my other one first. It's not as long, but when the first time I went and saw The Fellowship of the Ring, that was my first exposure to people dressing up in costume to go watch a movie. Really cool. That was my first experience with that. But I would never forget, apparently someone who was in the audience had not read the books or knew there was more than one movie. At the very end of the movie, where you see the Fellowship trekking across the rocks, and then it cuts to black, and and then someone really loud goes, "That's it?" So that was, I guarantee you, there was not one of the people in costumes.
I just sit through how many hours of this, and you're ending it on me right now.
But then, like I said, this goes to my next one: Freddy versus Jason. This movie, this will always live with me to the day I die.
This is one of the best.
Oh man, it's so great. So the big buildup, they're trying to get Freddy, Jason and Freddy finally fight each other. Well, Freddy had always had Jason at an advantage. Well, they finally brought Freddy to the real world, or the world where the physical world, and it finally gets up there. Jason gets in his face. and it gets down there. Some dude middle of the theater stands up and he screams. This is the edited version, but mess him up, Jason. But it wasn't mess. It was the more 4-letter. Yeah. But yeah, he stands up, mess him up, Jason. And then like theater erupted in laughter. It was so great. And every time I watch that movie or think about that movie, that is the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, it was so great.
Oh,
also seeing the The Grudge, saw it in the theater, and I will never forget was the one part where Sarah Michelle Gellar pulls the covers back and the girl is underneath the covers. I swear, a young gentleman, of course I say young, he was probably my age then, late teens, early 20s, get up and run out of the theater. Like full sprint, run out of the theater. But also, I guess, and here's another one though I could say is for the movie adaptation of Stephen King's The Mist. If you haven't seen that movie,
oh man, no, do we?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So that was also what it'll stick with me is everyone walking out of the theater very somberly, like,
yes, yeah,
okay,
right. I was going to say we won't spoil it if you have not seen it, but
and I haven't.
Okay.
The only thing I could say is it's a very hard case of never give up.
Ooh, yeah.
All right.
Hard case of never give up.
Putting that on the list to watch.
Yeah,
movie's great. Ending is
most Stephen King movies.
Yeah, Stephen King doesn't write. He doesn't do good endings on anything.
No, I'm not going to give away any endings in case you haven't seen the movie. Well, no, the movies. The movies are good for it. The chapter 1 and chapter 2. Mm-hmm. I love those.
Yeah.
Well, it's the book. It's the book that when it ended, I just kind of went, what?
What? So you will like The Mist because it's Frank Darabont did it. So if you appreciate the early season of The Walking Dead, so it's very much that
Shawshank
tone.
Redemption,
right? Shawshank.
Yeah. So you're gonna like overall as a movie, terrific. Just the ending will
mess you up.
It'll stick with you.
Yes, definitely stick. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna watch that then.
Yeah.
But think of other movies. Oh, sorry, we're bouncing around here. But I think another movie I watched here recently. I haven't watched in a while. I popped in The Crow. Visited that movie, and it still holds up very well. I like it. Like I forgot how much I really enjoyed that movie.
Probably last time I watched that was not too long after it was released for home video.
A lot of the Crow stuff is on HBO Max. Really, you could watch the first 2 movies, and that's all you really need to watch.
Yeah. So, Kevin, with all your love for Star Wars, do you have any kind of Star Wars movie experiences to share with us?
Oh, boy, do I. Episode 1 was one that came out. I'm going to show my age here a little bit, but episode 1 came out in 1999, and it was released during the senior. Well, it's normally the senior break, like between that. Well, let me back up a little bit. I graduated that year. Graduated from high school. And we were in the middle of our break where, you take all of your semester tests and then you have the break before you get to go and do your graduation. So me and my friend Heath Plunkett, super cool guy. He brings his little laptop with him and we sit out front of the Carmike 3 in Coleman. And this was back in the day when there was, you couldn't just order tickets. Mm-hmm. You had to literally sit in front of the theater and wait to make sure you got in line and save your space. Mm-hmm. You had to do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, you still have to do that to an extent, but we really had to do that. And I will never forget, it was the coolest thing because apparently they didn't get the episode 1 reel, the film reel, until the day of. So we're literally sitting there and waiting on the theater to open. And we see a FedEx truck pull up and the reels are there and it says Star Wars on it. Oh, wow. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the movie. And think about it. This is the Carmike 3. So there's 3 auditoriums. Yeah. So 1 or 2 of those auditoriums were being dedicated to Star Wars. Actually, probably all 3 by the end of it, because this was episode 1. They knew it was going to make crazy amounts of money. So yeah, I mean, episode 1 was huge. And of course, we all had our ups and downs. And I've actually still have a framed picture of the USA Today the day that episode 1 came out with a fan that's holding up a ticket and have all of my tickets from the Carmike framed in there.
That's awesome.
And there are like 9 or 10 of them.
That's awesome.
So I went, that's how many times I went and saw episode 1. I could go on forever about experiences because episode 2 was a completely different thing because that was the one you guys mentioned earlier. I went in costume on that one, and I was like the only one there in costume. And that's what started, like literally the first costume I ever made. My grandmother helped me make it. It was phenomenal. And I will never forget, there was a reporter there who tripped me up, and she was like, so, do you want to say anything to Carrie Fisher? It's her birthday. It's like, and then started asking me about like whether I would go out with Carrie Fisher. And I'm like, dude, I'm here to watch a movie. I mean, she's cool, but no.
Yeah.
She's like my mom's age.
It's like, and is she going to see this? I mean, this is the local TV station?
Yeah, it was a local TV station. I was like, okay. And it turns out that wasn't aired, thankfully, because it was cringy as hell. But
Made me think while we were talking about episode 1. I don't know if you guys saw the other day, but as much time it's passed between the New Hope and episode 1 when it came out, now that as much time between episode 1 and now has passed.
Yes, I did see that.
That is
why you
so
gotta
wild.
do that? Why do you gotta do that to me? Dang.
We're not supposed to be this old.
Jeez.
Well, I'm glad
we already did the old segment, bro. You're dragging us back into it
That's
again.
right.
Hey.
He's already
Look, if I'm going this episode without bringing up Walmart, don't bring up the age.
This is a thing with Bo, because I think in the previous, or one of the ones, I think the previous one, he said we're going to be the Bama AARP geeks. And, Bo's been on, I guess turning 40 has really made him reflect on age.
And we've already brought up the
Bo's just anchoring us in the grave here.
Yeah.
I am the I guess we just say the physical reality check, I guess. I don't know.
Speaking of Star Wars, so there is a rumor going around, several rumors actually. I'm going to speak on 2 of them. Number one is there's a rumor going around that Daisy Ridley may be actually coming back to Star Wars, and that Disney may be pursuing the possibility of continuing the story of Rey Skywalker. And that's going to be pretty cool. I mean, they've got to figure out a way to make Rise of Skywalker work because, the movie was a hot mess. So they've got to figure out a way to build scaffolding around that movie to make it make more sense in the canon. But one of the more interesting tidbits is, how are they going to anchor this into what we now consider good Star Wars, which is Mandalorian and anything that's built off around that time period. Mm-hmm. So now there are rumors going about of possibility that Rey may show up in Mandalorian. Now,
as a toddler?
I mean, if she shows up before, what are they going to do? Explain her lineage or something?
I bet she could be Rey's mother. I guess you could pay her mother. I guess I don't know. It's very odd.
And then the thing is if they actually are trying to fix canon with the Mandalorian, they would have to fast forward. They would have to time jump Mandalorian 22 years.
Yeah.
And granted, I mean, look, Mandalorian, we don't, Din, we don't see him often. Mm-hmm. So it really wouldn't be a big deal to age, Pedro. But I mean, it's just kind of weird. It's a stretch.
This is a definite stretch.
If they involve Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni in the decision making, they'll make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those guys will make it work somehow if they decide to go that path.
Yeah.
I think one of the best parts of Mandalorian so far, though, is the fact that Favreau was able to say, all right, give me this time period where there's not a lot going on. Mm-hmm. We don't really know a lot about it. And let me do something.
Right.
So now if they go, all right, well, this is successful. This is the most successful Star Wars thing we've ever done. Now we need to tie it to the stuff that wasn't quite as well received and make it make sense. Mm-hmm. It kind of feels like they're starting to chain it down, and I don't like that. They need to leave it, let it be free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like it is.
The biggest thing with that, though, like I said, the new movie trilogy, like I said, there was no, like I said, that's what they're doing Mandalorian. They've got an overall story arc. They have a plan where it seems like the new movies was like, hey, we'll make it up as we go.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's the Rise of Skywalker script was pretty much, I'm convinced was pretty much like a round robin thing where they had a set of writers in a room and they just said, all right, I've got this and go. And go. And that's the reason it didn't make as much sense as like something that has a really good, well-defined plot line, like, I don't know, Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely tell that just the direction that they're going with the Mandalorian, that they're going to try to, at the very least, establish Luke's Jedi Order.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they're going with this, because if they get Sebastian Stan to come in and actually do, Luke Skywalker and actually have a live stand-in and he can pull it off, we could definitely see this happen. But it still has nothing to do with Rey.
Yeah.
It has nothing it just has nothing to do with her.
No.
So I think that's pretty unsubstantiated. It's just not going to happen. But just the fact that Rey Skywalker may be coming back to do more stuff means that I'm even more interested in the possibility of potentially getting Finn back. If they could get John Boyega to come back and we could explore the fact that we were teased in Rise of Skywalker, it's like, we're going to focus everything on Rey, but by the way, he's Force sensitive, so cut to black. And then we don't get anything else from him. So it's like, we need more of that.
Yeah, I think general audiences, everybody, all like, I'm not to use a common term, but they all like Poe did all right, but like Rey and Finn really deserve better than what they got.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe that was, Finn, like I was really hopeful. Like I said, also, who else deserved better in there for me? Phasma. Phasma deserved better than what she got.
Much better.
Like I was so fight for Phasma.
Man, Snoke deserved better, but hey, that's another movie, okay?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can see them building more realistic, or possible for them to build more off of Rey. And kind of like how Marvel does its phases, I mean, in this, the whole thing about the last movie was that this is the end of the Skywalker series. This is where this storyline is going to come to completion. So
why would they pull more Daisy Ridley in? Why would they do that? And I don't understand why they would want to do more of it if they said that the Skywalker saga is now complete and done, because it seems like what they're doing is they're trying to apply the Marvel formula to Star Wars.
Yeah,
and
that's what
it's working.
Right. That's what I was thinking too.
I can tell you what it is. They're going to make the new movie trilogy exist in the same timeline as the holiday special. That's what it is. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Speaking of Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
This now exists between Betty Ford visits.
Ooh.
And for a younger audience, in the event that you don't know what Betty Ford is, please feel free to Google it, and then you will probably make a lot of sense. And then you can thank me whenever you go down the deep, dark hole of Carrie Fisher's history and how she came to be the wonderful den mother of Star Wars that we know her now.
She's got a great...
it was a long, hard road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got a great story there.
Yeah, she does.
And it's just sad that we lost her way too soon.
Yeah, I was so looking forward to seeing her at a convention being dressed as Jake Blue's on my knees begging her not to kill me. That was one of my things I so looked forward to at one point.
Do not leave that woman at the altar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I've got from Carrie is I've got an autograph photo of her that came from the second Star Wars celebration. No, I'm never letting go of that photo.
Yeah, she was a treasure, but just like a lot of Hollywood kids, she had a troubled childhood and a troubled adulthood, and
she's human. I mean, like even they may be entertainers and all this stuff, but everybody's human at the end of the day. So I mean,
So guys, with everything getting back to normal, we might actually be able to do concerts now.
Woohoo!
Coming up, it's going to be awesome.
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Do you guys want to talk a little bit about some favorite concert experiences you guys have had in the past?
Well, for me,
Mark, let us know, man.
For me, hands down, the best concert live stage experience was Weird Al Yankovic. Seeing him twice, that man can put on a show and a half. He gets out in the crowd and does things, and it's Weird Al. If you know Weird Al, you know it's good, and you know what he can pull off, and he does. It is easily the stage presence number one for me, Weird Al Yankovic. But I went down the YouTube rabbit hole this past week where I started watching, I admitted that my secret music obsession is Avril Lavigne, which I'll just go ahead and tell you this right now. 2008, she came to the Phillips Arena, which is now State Farm Arena in Atlanta. And say 2008, I was 32. Imagine 32-year-old me going and sneaking. Well, I didn't sneak. I went by myself. I went by myself to go to Avril's concert, front row. And man, did I have a great time. And all these mothers had their daughters there. And I'm just like, I looked like super creep. But I didn't care. And I got some great up close photos of her actually like looking in the direction where it looks like she's looking at my camera. Maybe she was. I don't know. Maybe that's just a hope and a dream. But I've got some great up close shots of Avril from that concert. And she put on a heck of a show. But so there's my creep factor concert story. But I did go down the YouTube rabbit hole. I was a radio DJ, started in 92, and that's been my favorite job most favorite job I've ever had is being a radio DJ. And of course, I got to go to several shows, got to go hang out backstage with Matchbox 20 and Everclear in Atlanta and things like that. But my all-time favorite band is Linkin Park. And so I got on their YouTube channel the other day and started rewatching some of their older stuff prior to Chester's death. And man, I tell you, that brought back a lot of memories. I was able to see Linkin Park in 2007 and 2008 on their Project Revolution tours when they came to Atlanta to the, at the time it was Lakewood Amphitheater. I don't know if it's called anything different now, but, man, they put on a great show. And in 2008, they had Chris Cornell with them. Chris came out with Linkin Park when they were singing Crawling and did a harmonic duet with Chester. And oh my gosh, I've got the MP3s. You could go at that time and you could give them $20 and they gave you a blank CD with the cover from that night's show in it. And a couple of weeks after the show, you paid for it there, you gave them your email address, and they would email you the MP3s of that show. So I've got both the live Atlanta shows that I was at. And man, to go back and listen to both Chris and Chester harmonize on Crawling, oh my gosh, that was a magical night seeing those two guys together, and then knowing that they're both no longer with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Linkin Park is forever my favorite band, hands down, just because of how genuine they were with the fans and how, they just hit me at a time that was towards the end of my radio career that I had got to experience them and everything. It's Linkin Park, definitely. All-time favorite concerts, both of those. Busta Rhymes was supposed to be on that 08 tour as well, but he had some obligations. But they had a lot of great bands. My Chemical Romance, I remember, and I think they were in 07. Yeah. Atreyu was there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Taking Back Sunday. There were some great bands on that tour. We got to see so many great bands. I mean, they were all in the summer in Atlanta. So it was hot. I mean, Chester even said on stage in 07, he's like, what's up with all these bugs in Atlanta during the summer? He says hot and sweaty. And I think I just had a mosquito eat my baby, But yeah, I miss Chester so much. I miss Linkin Park so much. I loved every one of their albums, even a couple there in the middle that were not received well. That was a growing phase for them, coming out of their new metal phase and into their more mature music. And yeah, I miss Chester a whole bunch, and I miss Linkin Park, and I would give anything to have those experiences again, but they'll never be.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, Brock mentioned Chris Cornell. And I was actually fortunate enough to go to what will now be the next to last concert that Soundgarden ever did. I actually was at the showing at the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. Was the one and only time I've ever seen Soundgarden or Chris Cornell live. And I'm absolutely fortunate that I was able to see him, because that man just in his element and actually performing Soundgarden songs. And it was just something about the magic of how they had his audio set up. It was just like it just penetrated your body. And it was just, he has an angelic voice anyway.
Yeah.
So he was absolutely phenomenal. And then, of course, a week later, when they were doing their tour, I think it was in Detroit. That was when they found him after the show. But that has gone down as probably my favorite concert. And honestly, unlike Brock, who was, like you said, he was up close and was able to see. I was about midways back in the amphitheater and didn't really have really good seats, and it didn't matter. You could feel his presence, his stage presence from the parking lot. It was that good. I mean, the guy was just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you ask anybody else here, I'm a huge Chris Cornell fan. Yeah. I love Chris Cornell. I have artwork of his in my living room. I have a large sound wave that I had commissioned that is the opening verse from Burden in My Hand. Yeah. And it's Soundgarden and just the grunge era and Soundgarden in particular is what kind of hooked me back when Bo and I were kids. Right. When we were in our teens. That was kind of the formative years for us. So grunge was everything then. And Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Nirvana. Those were the big ones.
Yeah. 90s alternative rock will probably be my favorite genre.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I had a lot of good experiences of concerts during that particular time frame too. Yeah. So I agree with y'all on that. I was fortunate.
Why don't you tell us about it, Jessica?
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, why? Yeah.
Well, okay. Look, my taste in music is so broad. I fall under that don't judge me category. You never know what you're going to find when you hit one of my playlists. My very first concert was Bruce Springsteen here in Birmingham during the Born in the USA era. I've gone to numerous New Kids on the Block concerts in my teen years. No, Brock. Look,
look, guys, we're on video right now, and Brock is literally shaking his head back and forth.
Just let a New Kids song come on the radio.
And I turn it.
No, he does not. No, he wants to turn it, but I don't let him turn it.
She has a 2nd degree black belt. I don't touch the dial when this
okay, but Brock, look at some of the boy bandish stuff that came after New Kids on the Block. New Kids on the Block really wasn't that bad.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
They really were. I mean, compared to some of the stuff that came after, they're really not that bad.
I was in the 8th grade. My girlfriend at that time was so obsessed with them, and that's really what turned me off. Because I'm just like, really, these guys.
I would say that I guess my first fandom was probably New Kids on the Block. There's no telling. My parents spent millions of dollars on merchandise and posters and magazines and shirts and concert tickets. So they spent a very small fortune on acquiring those things for me. And hey, maybe one day I'll with our toy collecting, maybe I will be able to get back all the dolls that I once had.
Oh,
but anyway,
man.
we're gonna get back on the concert discussion here. But yeah, during the 90s, I had a chance to go see a lot of great bands, Nirvana and Foo Fighters and Bush. Just a really great time in my life to be able to go to concerts and experience that music of that time. I love concerts that put on a show and that the artist not only singing but entertaining. I've had a chance to see Kiss multiple times. Always put on a great show. I got to see Pink in Birmingham, and I guess this kind of builds to my nerd side or my geek side, but to me, the fan base that is the parrot heads at a Jimmy Buffett concert is overall one of the best experiences.
Boat drinks.
Boys in the band order boat drinks.
No, we got many
DMCA strike.
Fins up, everybody. Fins up. You go to a Jimmy Buffett show, people are dressed up like pirates. You got guys with the coconut bras and the grass skirts. The atmosphere and the experience of those concerts, it's just a good time. It's a party atmosphere. It's just a laid back, wonderful experience, and I'm so thankful. I grew up I'm a daughter of a parrot head, so it's in my blood. This is coursing through my veins. And
anybody that's ever heard of like Rocky Horror Picture Show, and you go to Rocky Horror Picture Show and everybody's dressed up.
Yes.
If you've never been to a Jimmy Buffett concert, it's like that, but with like tropical theme and things that are themed to his songs.
Exactly.
It is amazing.
So, if you're like us and you love the convention environments and the cosplays and things like that, then a Jimmy Buffett concert experience is for you. Maybe I'll get a chance, hopefully, to bring Brock along. Hopefully, Jimmy will get back out. I know he's back out on the road. He's getting back out there too, back at performing and playing some shows. So hopefully he'll get back around to Birmingham again. First time I saw him was at Jazz Fest in New Orleans. And then he, probably about a year after Jazz Fest, he had come back to Birmingham, and it had been years since he had been to Birmingham. So we got to go to that at the Civic Center. And then maybe a year or two after that one, he came back to Birmingham again and played at Oak Mountain. Also, one of the best concert experiences that I've ever had is also when I got to see Elton John and Billy Joel together in the face-to-face. Oh, Brock, he's so jealous of me for that.
I was working at a radio station in Tuscaloosa that night when they were in Birmingham, and I couldn't come because I was on the air.
And I'll tell you how I got tickets for that show. I won them off of the radio.
Not my station.
No, not your station.
Because I wouldn't have given them to you.
No, I would not have given those away. I'm like, look, boss, I'm sorry.
Well, that was when I found out that year that they were coming, because they'd always played in Atlanta. It never really could ever get a chance to go see them in Atlanta. And finally, I hear they come to Birmingham. Magic 96 here in Birmingham had a contest where they had spliced together Billy Joel songs, and you had to identify each song in the mix. Well, nobody could get that opening riff to Only the Good Die Young. Everybody was missing that one. And, I was able to keep going back and listening. This is a time when you could still record stuff. So I had a chance to record it and listen to the playback. And I finally got through. And I got it. Everybody kept missing Only the Good Die Young, but I got it. And I won my concert tickets. So
Jessica is a musical savant. She is her brain. It's amazing to when she gets to talking about music and identifying different music and artists and songs and facts about them. It's amazing to sit down and listen to her.
It was always my goal to get on Rock and Roll Jeopardy. I hate that never worked out for me. I would sit there and at the time, people would watch me watching this, and I'm getting it. They're like, you got to get on this show. You got to get on. I was like, I'd love to get on this show. I'd love to be on Rock and Roll Jeopardy. But that's some of my concert experiences. And also, I was fortunate enough to go see Huey Lewis in the news a couple of years ago. And I'm really glad for that as well, because hopefully, I know Huey's had some medical issues that has prevented him from being able to perform. And I hope that he gets better from that and he's able to go back on the road, because I can't imagine what that's been like for him to be in that position. I
saw him down in Montgomery and saw him for my birthday, him and Joe Cocker in Atlanta one year. That was fantastic. That was right before Joe Cocker died.
Yeah. I have a broad taste of music. I have a very wide range of my likes in music.
Mm-hmm.
Bo puts on his own concerts though with the rock band.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, my concert experience, like I said, I think I have the best flex I can do of anyone here. It was probably, if I want to say it's the one I remember first, my first live concert experience was seeing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out of their shells tour live. UAB Bartow Arena. Oh man, like I said, I have the VHS tapes they put out, not long afterwards from the Radio City of Music Hall. So that was pretty cool. Like I have vague memories of it. I remember it, it was really good. I brought home, they had the souvenir light sword. It was I had a black handle, orange sword, and I had light head coming out of their shells tour on it. Mm-hmm. Which that's probably one of my favorite experiences I remember.
Where is it?
Probably in my old toy box, or deteriorated years ago. I have an old toy box of mine that I got from our old house. I've got to go through and clean it up. I may still have the handle of it. I know the plastic on the sword, it deteriorated years ago, but it may still be in there. If it does, I will post a picture and tweet it. But really, like I said, I really just started doing mini concerts there for a while. But as we were talking about, we're fans of 90s alternative type stuff. I've seen Korn twice. Mm-hmm. And the first time I went, the crowd was exactly as I expected it to be, which I was completely not dressed like, which is fine.
Did you go see Korn when they came to Birmingham with Rob Zombie?
No, I see. Okay. Rob is one of my concerts I really want to see. I've not seen him. I want to see him.
Because I did go.
Rob.
I went to that
I've
one.
seen Rob and Marilyn Manson together. That was pretty cool.
Oh, I'm sure. Like I said, I saw Korn. It was Korn. I believe it's Breaking Benjamin. I've seen them multiple times together.
Yeah.
Breaking Benjamin's one of my favorite, my wife and I's favorite band, probably together. We love listening to Breaking Benjamin. We've seen them, like we went to Nashville a couple of years ago and we saw Avenged Sevenfold, Breaking Benjamin, and Bullet for My Valentine. They were all together. Cool thing about the Avenged Sevenfold, which my wife loves Avenged Sevenfold. I love them too. It was the opening leg of the stage tour. That was their album at the time. But they were in Nashville. They did a duet cover version of "Wish You Were Here." It was M Shadows and Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm.
Hailstorm.
Which
yeah.
I want you to know, Lizzie Hale might be one of my favorite vocalists in music right now. Or I mean, she is incredible. She can wail like they did a cover of Lady Gaga's "Bad Romance," and I actually like that better than the Gagas. Which if you haven't listened to, do yourself a favor and listen to it. Which that brings me to another thing with music. I've been discovering so many cool covers. Like today while I was mowing the grass, this shows you how I'm old. I'm listening to my rock metal station while I'm cutting grass. And All That Remains did a cover of Garth Brooks, The Thunder Rolls, and it's pretty freaking cool.
Hey, I went to see Garth too in concert,
Garth is another one I would love to see.
I did get a chance to go see him.
My pinnacle of music happened probably 2 years ago when I got to see my favorite band. I discovered them in my teens, about 14 or 15. I'm trying to think around when Reload came out. That was my introduction to them, but then I went back and listened. But Metallica, finally got to see them live for the first time 2 years ago. I've been waiting. They came I think on that same tour when Reload came out, but I was a teenager in high school and, my parents were not going to let me go out to a metal concert in the middle of the week. So I kept waiting for them to come closer. Well, they toured Europe a lot, and then they came to Atlanta, but I never could go. Well, they did a tour, and I was fortunate enough they decided to pick Birmingham. First time they've been to Birmingham since the mid to late 90s.
Right.
And I got to see them, and it was so wonderful. It was like, even though I was in the nosebleeds, really the nosebleeds of the BJCC is really not bad for a concert, especially when they're set up in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you got Brock was talking about how you got the copy of the concert. Well, that was the cool thing about it is you had to go to Metallica's website and you had a code on your ticket. You could download a digital copy of the concert. So I have that concert on my phone and on my computer. They did record it, and ever so often they release like video clips on their YouTube channel. I'm hoping one day maybe they'll release a whole video of the concert.
Yeah,
I'll pay money. I'll gladly buy it. I mean, like I said, Metallica's my favorite band. Love them. Even though they did Saint Anger, but whatever. That's another discussion. But it was finally good to get that part of my bucket list taken care of.
Hey, Metallica got me kicked off Napster, and I am still not forgiving them for that. Okay.
Look,
and I didn't even have any Metallica albums. I had the Metallica's the intro, the warm up they did with Star Wars when they did the Star Wars theme. I had no Metallica music whatsoever, and because it said Metallica, I got kicked off Napster. I still haven't forgiven them for that.
Well, look, like I said, I agree. They did. They took the heat for it, even though they took the heat of it. I mean, it wasn't just them. I mean, but I mean, I understand.
They're within their rights to do that. I mean,
it was Lars being the vocal one, and nobody likes Lars.
That's
so
true.
I mean,
Well, speaking of your mom not letting you go to that concert, my mom took me and my buddy Jimmy from high school. She dropped us off at Garrett Coliseum in Montgomery back when we were in high school in the early 90s. It was 357 Jodeci and MC Hammer.
Oh, wow. That's
awesome. My mom was such a sport. She sat in the truck. It was just me and Jimmy that had the tickets. My mom went and sat in our truck in the parking lot of this concert. Jimmy and I were about halfway up, and we were throwing up peace signs to Hammer when he was on stage, and he threw one back at us, and we were like, "Oh, this is great! We're Hammer's Peace Brothers."
Oh, that's awesome.
We came back out. Mom was just like, "So how was it?" Like, it was good. She goes, "I've been bored." It's like, sorry, Mom, but thank you so much.
Another concert I'm salty I missed because I couldn't go. It was a weeknight. Was when the Wallflowers, when their first album came out, Breaking Down the Horse. I really wanted to see them live because that's like one of my favorite alternative albums. That is a great album. So like I remember that I was like in 11th grade and I could not go, but it was like I had a classmate went and had to pour salt in the wound. But it was he told me, but it was good. But that was another one I missed.
Well, the Wallflowers are supposed to be coming back to Birmingham next year with Matchbox 20. In 2022.
Yeah, it used to be. Yeah, it's supposed to be like it was got scheduled. 2020 happened, then it got rescheduled. Now it's getting rescheduled again. So.
Right.
And of course, it's a work day for me. So,
So
man.
take a vacation day.
school nights to work days. May have to.
Yeah.
So hey, I was going to ask you guys, so far as concerts go, which concert have you been to that you felt like had the best stage presence, like the best lead or the best stage presence of all? I have one, but I want to know what you guys are going to say.
Mine has been, it was the Crawfish Bowl a couple of years ago with Alice in Chains. I cannot think of the gentleman who sings now, the lead singer.
William Duvall.
He has been probably overall, like he's done such a wonderful job taking over the lead man job. So I have to say probably him has been the one I've enjoyed the most.
And he's not even the lead singer. He's not the lead. He's actually the backup singer.
Wow.
Even that, he took over Lane's spot as the pseudo lead. It's Jerry Cantrell is actually the lead singer. So Jerry Cantrell is actually the lead singer of the group. Whenever you hear any of their new music, it's him singing the lead, and Duvall is actually singing anything that would have normally have been Lane. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry.
Okay. I enjoy Alice in Chains, but I'm not very savant of it, I guess, or very educated about it. I just there you go. That's why I have you for. So I like their songs, but I haven't delved down the rabbit hole of all the backstory.
So that was your big one.
Yeah, that's the one I've enjoyed the most. Where I'm like, holy crap, this guy is, I guess, the presence.
What about you, Jessica?
I've been sitting here, honestly, just trying to go through every concert that I've
I know one
to.
stood out to you. I know one, at least one of them stood out to you.
Which one do you think?
It's one of the New Kids on the Block.
Oh, at that time in my life, there was nobody better than New Kids on the Block, hands down. But oh man, Kevin, you put me on the spot. That's like asking me what my favorite band is or what my favorite song is. Or
you don't have to have a favorite. It's okay. Oh. How about you, Brock? You got one?
Weird Al. I mean, Weird Al is just that stage show that he puts on is unlike anything you'll ever see in person at a concert. That man is phenomenal to watch.
Yeah.
And
I definitely want to see him one day.
All the costume changes he does.
Yeah.
He goes through, he puts on his suit from Fat. He comes out there and does that. And he, of course, comes out on the Segway doing White and Nerdy. And he does it all.
He is a bucket list for me, too. I hope that one day I get to see him. And I know he went out on tour, recently and was doing a lot of the
orchestra.
And doing a lot of the deep tracks, not the well-known stuff. And he wasn't going to be doing, the costumes and things like that. And I hope he gets back around and does another tour like that and we have a chance to go see him. I don't mean to drag this on too long, but I do have another Elton John concert story that I feel is worth sharing at the moment, if y'all don't mind.
She's still standing. Let her go.
So the first time that Elton came back to Birmingham in 96, there was, this was, of course, the time when you had to go stand in line for concert tickets. They knew the demand was going to be massive. So you had to go to, I went to Magic Platter that was over in Hoover at the time. You went to go get your wristband. It's you come back on the day that the tickets went and sell to get in line. You lined up by the number of your wristband. So the lottery was drawn, and if you had they drew the number. So if you were whatever number you were the first person in line. Well, everybody that was in front of you had to go to the back. But everybody behind whoever, the first number was, they moved your place in line. Well, fortunately, I was in the first group. The person that got selected as number one, I was lined up, I was not too far behind them. This concert sold out, and they had I want to say, in less than 3 minutes, this concert was gone. Wow. The tickets were gone. So while we were there, they had a lady from Birmingham News there talking to people. So she got to talking to me, and she talked with me afterwards. I had got the tickets, and then she called me and was like, hey, I want to follow up with some of the people that got tickets and, all that, do an article about it, the whole process of getting the tickets and everything. So she actually came out to my house and brought a photographer out, and I laid out all my Elton albums and CDs, and she got a picture of me holding the tickets. Okay, great, fantastic. So we found out that the article is going to come out on said day. So I go down to the newspaper stand to get
What are those?
to get the paper, knowing this article is coming out. Guess who's on the front page of the Birmingham News holding her Elton John tickets, surrounded by her Elton John merchandise? This chick right here.
That's awesome.
So I do have the article saved. Maybe we can, once the podcast airs, maybe this is something we can share on the podcast page of my front page exposure holding my Elton John tickets. This was when he did the Big Picture tour. So both of my Elton John concert experiences come with a good story. But I would say Elton probably is one of the top ones. I would think if I had to choose one, Kevin, I would go with Elton. Hands down.
So mine would be this one's one that's always stuck with me, is when Robert Plant actually toured with Alison Krauss for a album they released back in 2007 called Raising Sand. I had, like most folks, I've never seen, old folks have seen Led Zeppelin, and I'd never seen Robert Plant in concert. That guy, it's like he can just stand there on stage, and he's got this magnetism to him. I'm a huge Chris Cornell fan. He doesn't hold a candle so far as stage presence to Robert Plant. That guy is phenomenal. And it was like, I love Alison Krauss. It was the first time I'd ever seen her as well. She was like a backup singer. And she's phenomenal as well. And their song, Gone, 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 I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard that song. It was a pretty big hit when it came out back in 2007, 2008. But that concert, I wasn't even in a good seat, but it didn't matter. As soon as he came out on stage, it was like, okay, this guy is everything. And I left enjoying the concert, but going, man, I would have loved to have seen Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
It made me think. I just had to I can't believe I didn't even think about it. I completely brain farted that whole entire thing. I saw Page and Plant when they did their tour in the early 2000s, the Page and Plant.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know. Why did I completely forget that? I guess I was so worried about.
So
you're like me. As we talk about this, I keep thinking of all the concerts I've been to. We could.
Yeah, oh my God! You actually saw him. Oh man,
him and Jimmy Page. Yeah, like it was the Walking Out of Clarksdale tour. That was the early 2000s. I would say it's 2000 or 2001. And that was the closest thing I got to see with Zeppelin, and it was like a religious experience.
Yes, very much so.
But I was denied Stairway. But I'm completely okay with that because they played Heartbreaker live, which is probably one of my favorite Zeppelin songs. Probably Heartbreaker or Thank You. Those are tied for my two Zeppelin songs. But Heartbreaker was like the guitar solo, like Jimmy.
Yeah.
Lord. I completely forgot that. That's what made me think. Yeah, they're Plant, and that I would say. Plant might be. I agree.
He's his stage presence. I have never been to a concert. I mean, maybe Steven Tyler's up there too with Aerosmith.
Yeah,
he's really got a really good stage presence, but he doesn't have that magnetism that Robert Plant has. It's like you just can't not look at him. I mean, he's just. There's something about it, but it's like he's got some kind of weird juju or something where he just like makes you look at him. It's like it was when I was at that concert. It was like, oh well, Alison Krauss is here too, but Robert Plant,
which is funny. Me and you're oozing about Robert Plant. Well, I see over here why Brock is kind of like
so good. I'm loving the stories.
We're gonna leave that out.
But Plant definitely. Yeah, that was. I forgot. That makes me mad. I didn't think about talking about during my segment.
Well, let me ask you guys one artist, one band you've never seen that would be a bucket list for you.
Mine's actually old, but I would love to have gone to see any performance, any concert from John Philip Sousa.
Very nice.
Stone Temple Pilots with Scott Weiland.
That's a good one.
Might be the one I would, because like Core is one of my top 5 albums. So
yeah.
Put Jessica on the spot again.
Yeah.
Jess will know exactly what mine is.
Go ahead with yours, Brock.
Phil Collins. I've had the opportunity and have not been able to jump on it. And Genesis is touring in the U.S. again, nowhere near the Southeast.
Yeah.
Thanks.
They don't want to be near us honkies.
Oh.
Three white British guys. What do you mean? Oh my gosh. I would love Phil. When the film did his comeback tour, and he was on one of the late night talk shows. And I'm sorry, because he's gotten older, he did not sound the same. And that honestly, that's what kept me. Seeing him perform right before his comeback tour, 2 or 3 years ago, is what kept me from buying tickets to see him, because I didn't want to see him and remember him from that performance in his younger days.
I love the thing you're talking about, Phil Collins. I don't know if y'all have seen it. The guy playing the piano that's on fire, and they're talking about the Tarzan soundtrack. It's like, Phil, you don't have to hit it so hard. And the guy's sitting there playing piano with it on fire. Anyway, this might be surprising, but actually, the more I think about it, Aerosmith. I haven't seen Aerosmith, and I would like to have a chance to see them live.
I have seen them twice in concert, and their concert is phenomenal. That was actually the so far as rock concerts, my first rock concert was actually Get a Grip.
Okay.
Oh wow.
That was the era. That was the Aerosmith
I agree.
era.
My parents.
It was so I went and saw Get a Grip, and I saw 9 Lives.
Which in my opinion was is our last good album.
Yeah,
but that's just my opinion.
No,
thank you, Mom. If Mom's listening, thank you for taking me to those concerts, because it started everything.
My parents have been fortunate to see them many times in concert, but I never have. The Rolling Stones. Rolling Stones would be another one for me. Yeah.
They'll be around another 20 years. Don't worry about that.
That's true. Yeah,
you got time.
Keith Richards is going to outlive us all. Anyway.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
What kind of world are we going to leave behind
even
for
after
Betty
that,
White and Keith Richards?
Well, and even after that, they'll have them set up like the Chuck E. Cheese bears at the front, where they'll be animatronic, and they'll be in the retirement home singing through the animatronic bears.
Like Bill and Ted.
It'll be the Bears with Keith Richards. He'll still be there. That guy's immortal.
Oh. Well, we've had a blast tonight. This has been a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I've thoroughly enjoyed talking about all this, and I guess we're gonna wrap it up. And we've got, I think, some pretty good ideas that we can touch on again in the future, a little bit more in depth. And if you guys want to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, we would certainly appreciate that. If, like I said last time, if you don't enjoy us, just we don't exist. It's okay.
Please don't leave us a bad review.
Yeah. And we've gotten some ratings. I don't think we've seen a review yet, but thank you so much for leaving us the good, at least the ratings on iTunes. And search us out on social media everywhere at Bama Geeks. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube. And I got some ideas in the hopper where we can start doing the video version where you can actually see us.
Woohoo!
Whether you want to or not. But we got some plans to actually make it a full-fledged a video podcast for you on YouTube. But until then, just go click on our picture and get to stare at us for however long we speak. But we can't thank you guys enough. We've received a lot of great feedback from friends and from listeners. Our email, bamageeks@gmail.com, and we've gotten some private messages on our social media and some public messages, and we really appreciate everything you guys are saying. We're having a blast doing this. We turn these out every couple of weeks. That gives us a chance to sit down and not watch what we are planning to watch and review during that time, which, hey, like I said, we're going to get to it. But we thank you so much for joining us and giving us your time and attention. We know it's precious, and we appreciate the fact that you want to spend a little bit of it with us.
Absolutely.
And we hope we can entertain you, because we've been entertaining each other for years. That's why we decided to sit down and have these conversations in a public setting, because we have them in private. So, hey, why not share the fun?
There you go.
look for its, again, social media at Bama Geeks everywhere. And for my family here, my Bama Geeks family, if you guys want to say goodbye, I don't know.
Let's try to wrap this thing up, y'all.
Yeah. We'll become professional at this one day.
Thanks again for listening and for your support.
So like
Stay classy, San Diego.
Yeah, so like the old, is it the Bartles and James? We thank you for your support.
All right, we're going to go get on our rocking chairs on that note.
Yeah, for you youngins, look at that commercial. But thank you, guys.
YouTube is a wonderful thing. Go find them. Well, thanks so much, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.